Do you ever struggle with paying bills late, missing a bill entirely, not being able to access information when you need it, like an account number or a password? There is so much to keep track of with finances, and today I'm going to share with you my financial notebook. This has changed my life, and it will change yours too. I'm going to jump right into how I use this financial notebook, how I set it up, and at the end, I'm going to have a checklist for you on the things you need to do to get started. And you can just screenshot that and hang on to it as a to-do list. So let's just open it up. First thing, I have this pocket. And for me, this allows me to put any bills that are due in here immediately. I suggest you use auto pay or bill pay with as many bills as possible. But if you do have any that come in the mail, make sure you have one spot for them. One, only one, and nothing else goes in that spot. So maybe you have a little basket or a file, or I have this pocket. Nothing else goes in here. So a lot of times it's going to be empty. If I've paid everything, there's nothing in here. But this way I can easily see if I have a bill to pay. Also, once you put a bill in, mark it on your calendar so you know the due date. Now this next page is completely optional, but I do an online budget. And because of that, when I check it and I see what's come through, if I see, let's say, an Amazon expense, I have no idea what it's for. And so that's really frustrating for me. And I have to go into Amazon. I have to try to find the order, look it up. So if I do anything online, I write it down. I write down what it was and how I paid it. Did I pay it through Amazon? Did I use PayPal? Did I use a certain card? That way I know I have the amount and I check when the item's received. Next, I have a spot for my budget. And I create this on the computer. It's really easy. You can just write it out by hand, but this is a zero budget, which means the total amount of expenses equals the total income. Next is goals. This is where I would write down any financial goals. And this is where I take notes, basically minutes, if you will, from the financial meeting I have with my husband. We meet at least once a month, but even if I have a discussion about something later in the month, I can jot down the details here so we don't forget. It's also a great way to make sure we're on the same page, we're on track with our debt payoff, as well as any other financial decisions we're making or big upcoming events, Christmas, a vacation. Then I have a tab for savings. Right now I don't have anything in here because I keep track of all my savings categories within my online budget. However, if you are just putting a set amount into savings, I suggest you keep track in here. You can have one account and multiple little mini accounts. So maybe you're putting in $200 into your savings account each month. Where is it going? Maybe $50 is going towards car repairs, and $50 is going towards your vacation, and $75 is going towards medical copays. Whatever it is, you can keep track and know where your money's going. Next is debt. I would love to say that we are debt-free. We are completely consumer debt-free. We don't have any credit card balances. We haven't for years and years. Ever since we went through Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace, I highly recommend that. But we still have one student loan we are paying off, and that was it for a long time, but we recently had a huge septic tank debacle. We actually didn't have a septic tank, and we didn't know that, and it was very expensive. So we had no choice but to take out a second on our home. Our goal is to pay that off ASAP. So what I do is I keep these little payoff sheets. And that way, every time I'm paying off a little extra and our balance is going down, I'm using my highlighter to mark it off. It is such a great visual to see and to motivate you to pay off your debt as quickly as you can. I have just made 2 months of payments, so I'm going to take my highlighter and fill in February and March. Next is a spot for our mortgage. And over here on the left, you'll see that I have all the things that might be behind this tab. So my actual mortgage, my property tax, and property insurance. I also have a sheet that shows my escrow amount, the amount that goes towards my insurance and property tax, because sometimes the mortgage company alters that. And so if I get a notice on it, I put it in here. Utilities are the next tab. And I like to have a printed form, a bill from each utility company. You don't have to do that. If you do, just go online, print one out, or take one from before you went paperless. Now I'm paperless on all of these, but one bill shows all the information I need. It has my account number, it has the address or phone number if I need to reach someone, as well as login information. Now, I do not put passwords in this notebook for my banking information or my credit cards, but for my utilities, I don't have a problem with that. I write it right here so that I can get to it easily. I've got trash, and I've written out the quarterly schedule because they don't give that to me and I can never remember which month the bill is due. I have my own little sheet for propane because they don't give us a bill, and so I write down what we ordered, what the cost was, and then that way I can keep the average of each year and know what the average per month is that I need to put aside. Make sure you're including pest control, your electric bill, gas bill, internet, all of that good stuff. Subscriptions and miscellaneous is next. And this one I am just starting to form because I haven't had this information in writing. We were just getting it online, but my goal in this next month is to make sure I have some kind of contact information for all of these things. After that, we have banking. And one of the things that I did this year, which has been so amazing, is I've written down the last 4 digits of every card we have. The reason this has been so helpful is often I'm looking at a bank statement or I'm looking online at my entries for my budget, and it will just show the last 4 of a card. And I can't always remember what that is. A couple of them I have memorized, but the ones we don't use as often, I don't. So this is my quick glance. I have all of the cards, the last 4 for me and for my husband. Then I have a statement just for my husband's personal account that he uses for his spending. I just keep one, so it has all the information I need. And then I do keep my bank statements for our personal checking, and I keep those for tax purposes. So every month when I get one of those, I hole punch it, I put it in here. At the end of the year, they all come out and they get filed with our tax stuff. Next, I have a spot for credit cards. Again, my hope for you is that you are out of credit card debt, or you've cut up your cards and you're getting out of debt. We went years without any credit cards, and because we have children that live out of state, we did decide to get a card for Miles. And the agreement we have made, if there is ever 1 month that we cannot pay it off in full, we have to cut up the card. Well, we've been going about 8 years and we haven't had to cut up a card. We are very intentional with our spending and it's paid off every month. But this is the spot where all of our information can be found. Then we have a retirement section. This has things like our life insurance, a disability insurance, any kind of investment accounts or pensions, and a Social Security statement. If you haven't received one, you can go online and print one out. It will tell you any information that they have so far about what you would be receiving as a Social Security benefit when you retire. Next, I have a spot for a trust and a will. Now, what I have in here right now is really just information. I've taken some notes. This is because we just completed our will and a trust. That is located with all of our important documents in a fireproof binder. Then we have work forms. This could be any insurance you have through work, maybe pay stubs. I used to have just pay stubs for us in here. When I transferred to this new notebook, I shredded everything and I need to print out some more current ones. Lastly, auto. And this has everything for insurance, for registration, for repairs. I did start keeping all of my repair receipts and information in the car that it applies to. And so that's all folded up, tucked in a binder in my car, and I just found that that was easier than filling up my notebook with stuff that I almost never have to access. So I have one bill for my auto insurance, but my favorite thing about this category is having all of my auto registration information right here available to use. And I put them in order for the year. My husband has a car, as do I, and we have a truck for the property. So I have all three of these lined up by their due dates. I know when they're due, I know how much they cost, and I have the license plate and VIN numbers written down. So it makes it really easy to go online and pay my registration. Here's the to-do list that you can screenshot. Make sure that you have all of your contact information, account numbers, etc. for all of these items. Once you have all of this, grab a notebook, get some dividers, and put it all together. You will never again be frantically searching for important financial information. You'll have it all in one spot. Thanks so much for joining me today on The Peaceful Home. Go and get organized.